Okay, so just a quick little video here for you guys, just a little follow-up what's going on around the shop, because I know sometimes, like I've said in all my videos throughout the years that you guys have been watching me, it can get a little confusing, especially to the newer viewers, what's going on here, because we are reality. We're showing you that we work on more than one car at one time, so we're just going to give you a little follow-up, not much to see too much. Basically what's left here in the shop. Now, as you all know, the VW van is gone. Last one you saw, it was all painted. We took it over to the boys. They love it. They're going to start assembling it, and hopefully everything goes good for them. Hopefully they don't get any scratches, and of course, I guess if they do, we'll see it back here and we'll touch them up. So let's see what's happening here at Friday. And of course, what time is it here Friday? It's super early here Friday. We'll zoom into the clock on the wall. Oh yeah, well, all you boys out there are probably excited, but it's 20 to 7. It's 20 to 7. There's a cooler thing than her right there. The Rodder's Journal. For all you guys out there, the Rodder's Journal book is an awesome book to buy. That's what you should be reading if you're a traditional guy. Now, you probably saw this trunk lid in the background. Oh, right here we got another one. If you remember, I sponsor a race car for little old Billy Ray. Billy Ray races out here at Agassiz. He's got a 71, or is it, sorry, 72 Torino. And he brought us a deck lid, and he said, you know, throw your logo on there, do whatever you want. So we threw a logo on that one. On the other one in the far corner, we threw a decal. What else we got going on here? And of course, look at my lunchroom. Here's Dan's hood sides for his 37 Ford. We're going to be taking those over to the painter today. We got the hood right here. Now, some people get confused. They say, is Dave your painter? Dave paints all the door jambs and under the hood areas here, but I have two painters that I use that are not here, that are in town. So Dave actually doesn't paint the cars on the outside, but he's quite capable of doing it. What else we got laying around the office? Well, we got a rocker panel here for my 76 GMC pickup. Big Red. Big Red, the rocker panel on the driver's side has seen its day. Actually, Big Red needs a paint job. We got to get onto that. So, but that's something for another time. It's a work truck. Now, as you can see up on the hoist, you haven't seen it for a long time. This is Dean's 55 Pontiac Ragtop. We got it in here, and what we're doing right now is I've actually got the motor sitting right over here under cover. If you all remember, I had to do a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but a few modifications to get the motor to fit in because he's putting a 409 in it. Well, our last major step was, you can see I've got the drag link disconnected here. The last step was to set the motor back inside the hole there, and I had to mark where the oil pan has to be cut. And I have to cut the oil pan, and then obviously I had to drop the pan and then take a look what it was going to do to the pickup tube. The pickup tube has to be shortened also because the pan is hitting the steering. Now, anyone that's got, let me get this around here. Anyone that's doing one of these cars and they want to put a 409 or a 348 into it and they're wondering what to do out there. I mean, obviously you guys got a computer at home because you're watching me. Do your research. I don't know all the answers, but I did quite a bit of research on it. And there's a place called Steffs, S-T-E-Fs. They make oil pans for these cars along with a pickup tube. They make the proper pan. The problem is for us Canadians, the dollar right now fucking sucks. $1,000 Canadian right now will get me back around 730 US. So don't think us Canadians are being cheap. It's just that our dollar's horrible. But anyway, where I'm going with it at is Steffs have oil pans for these cars, but it is $800 US. That's going to be over $1,000 for us to buy an oil pan. Now the next thing you can do, and I can't remember the name, but it'll come up when you look this stuff up online. You can take your front drag link and send it down to a place and they will drop it 2 inches. If you need more, they'll drop it 3, but you don't want to go beyond 3. They will drop it, and I believe they take your old drag link, they drop it down, and that's costing, I believe, 200, maybe 250 US. Now, we didn't do either one because this is too much money. If you're quite capable and you can do it yourself, why not just cut the pan? Why not cut the pan, do it yourself? It's simple. You're not going to lose a lot. I figure at the end of the day, by the time we cut this pan and move it, he's maybe going to lose maybe a half a liter of oil. Big deal. If you're worried about the oil situation, put a remote oil filler thing on it and run a couple filters if you want. That'll make up the difference, right? I don't think a half a liter is really going to hurt it all that much. But again, hey, I could be wrong. But I mean, if you keep your oil topped up, you know, it's not like he's building a race car here. He's just driving around in it. It should be all fine. How many people are driving around right now with their car and you pull the dipstick out and it's on ad, it's down a liter. And they're still doing fine, aren't they? Anyway, but most of you guys are probably saying my wife's car. Anyway, so never mind about that. Let's move on to what's going on. So we also have the fenders over here. And what we did here was Dean decided he wanted to French in some headlight rings. So we Frenched in some headlight rings for him. Now originally he had bought an aftermarket kit that you can buy online for Frenching headlight rings in, and I put one on. And from day one I never liked it. I never liked it at all. I thought they looked weird. They looked, I don't even know which ones they are. I can't tell you which ones they are. They're round and bulbous, and they take a chrome center ring that goes down here. Well, I've got a pair of original ones, and I Frenched them on, and they just look so much better. So our next step that Dean wants to do is he wants to take this, the eyebrow, I'll call it, because now with this Frenched, it looks like it's back too far. We're going to cut this off, and we're going to move it ahead around an inch. So this way, you know, he's just going for those subtle touches. So that's what's going on there. Now we come in here, you remember the TA hood for the Trans Am? Well, here it is right here. I just primered the backside of it last night for Dave because the customer would like to have the backside look almost as good, if not as good, as the front side. So Dave got in there, did all the body work. Now Lisa got in here, she stripped this whole thing down to bare metal. She stripped it all down, sanded it all down, did a wonderful job. So that's what's going on with the TA hood. And of course, here we go, Dan's fenders. There's Dan's fender. I brought it in here. Dave is getting ready to give it a final block, so that can go off for paint today. So that's what's going on there. Now let's take a walk outside, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see, I'm not lying to you. It's like 6:30 in the bloody morning, and we're on the go here. Okay, so let's get the lights on. So there we go. You remember Casey's 56 Pontiac? Well, it's sitting right here. Casey's working on the frame. I actually talked to Casey the other day on the frame. I mean the phone. I said, how's it going? And he said, I got the frame all ripped apart. He's got it all cleaned up, and I think he's got it painted now. He's just got to put it together. So Casey's frame will be coming back soon, and we'll be back on the ball there with Casey's car. Now, Jake's Monte Carlo. Yes, I know, it's a 1980 Monte Carlo, and I do not get involved in this stuff. Some of the guys watching my videos are probably going to say, hey, Rick, you told me 1972 and down is all you work on. It is all I work on. But Jake is sort of a friend of a friend, and he asked me, and he kind of talked to me for a while, and I said, you know what, I'll do it for you. I just don't get involved in this stuff. Like I say, it's a lot of metric tools, which I do have metric tools. I was a mechanic for like 12 years in a shop. I had to have this shit. But you know, on these cars here, the metal's thinner. It's not too much my cup of tea. You get like a dashboard like this with all the plastic. You know, how do you work with something like that? You know, I'm used to working with metal. You know what I mean? But anyway, what we got going on here is I forgot to show you. I'll show you in our next video. Normally the Monte Carlo has a piece that goes in the dash and it sticks out, much like how this sticks out here for the radio. Jake didn't want that. So we're making our own dash with our own. We're going to put autometer gauges in here. This is a template right now, so we know what we're doing. So we're going to make our own dash. We're going to change a lot of stuff on the dash. Normally the vents come through the dash up here for like the heating and that. We're going to lose those. We're going to change a whole whack of shit on the dash. It's not going to be like radically customized, but it's going to have a custom touch to it. It's going to look good. Now we've got the wiring is starting to go in. It's getting all cleaned up, and where it needs new harnesses, we're putting new harnesses. We're doing it properly. So that's what's going on. Now Jake's car is in final primer. This is all in final primer, the body. Now the doors still have to be done, and the front sheet metal has to be done. But there's Jake's car. Now we go on to Graham. Graham's 66 Ford pickup is right here. Graham is going to be coming out on Monday. He's going to be bringing us a shitload of parts for this thing so we can, because as you can see, we started the wiring also on this one. He's going to be bringing us a bunch of parts so we can start to get the dash all together and get the heater in, get everything put together in there. And then he's actually bringing me out the motor and the tranny, and we're going to start to put or I should say engine. We're going to start to put the engine in and get that all hooked up, and then we're going to go into the sheet metal. Now, what have we got going on in the far bay? My God. This update is killing me. Okay, in the darkness, what do we got? Okay, if you remember, I had Gene's 41 Ford Coupe here. Well, I told you Gene brings a little bit to us every year. Well, there's the front fenders. They're all in final primer. They are ready to go, and they're going to be painted here by next week. And then Gene's car will be coming back and going back together. And, of course, there you go. You can barely see it in the dark. There is Dan's 37 Ford. Dan's car, this part of the car, is all in final primer, and we're slowly blocking it, getting it ready. And it'll be painted, and it'll be on its way. So there we go. And of course, yes, there's another vehicle that I bought. You've seen it in the background for several videos. I picked up this little 50 Ford shoebox. All it needs, actually, the only thing wrong with this car is the 2 front body mounts and the rockers are rusted. Other than that, this car is rust free, and it came with rocker panels. No motor, no tranny, but you know. So I basically bought it because I need the frame out from underneath it. Another story, another time. That's what that is. And of course, there's old Big Red sitting in the background, just waiting to haul some parts off to the painter today. And like I say, Big Red needs a paint job because she's getting pretty rusty. So we're going to get on to her this summer. But we're not going to do nothing too fancy to Big Red. Actually, if you can see here, if I zoom in here, you'll probably see it. The truck actually is a rust-free truck, except for, if you look carefully, the bottom of the doors and the rockers are starting to go. And actually, if we take a look right here, this is what I've got. I didn't buy aftermarket. I found rust-free mint doors, and I just threw a couple coats of paint on here just in the shop. I painted this myself. So there's my paint work. That's 2 coats of paint, and that's my paint work there. And I only put a couple coats on because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rockers and the doors first on my truck, on Big Red, because I can't have the truck down. So I can do them. I can do a rocker and a door on a Sunday, and then Monday I can pull it out of the shop and it can be back on the road. Then the following Sunday I can do the passenger side door and rocker. Then I've taken care of all the rust in it, and then it's just a matter of sometime when the weather clears up here, sometime like I'm thinking probably June, July, then I'll pull the truck in. Just hang on a sec, guys. Then I'll pull the truck in and I will actually get all the bodywork finished off on it, and then we'll give her a paint job. I'm not taking that truck apart. I'm not going to be pulling the fenders off, the hood off. I'm not going to be painting the backside of the hood. I'm not going to that extreme with that truck. It's a work truck. I'm just going to give it a paint job, and you know, there's a couple dents up on the roof. I'm going to leave them. Who cares? So it's, like I say, she's just an old work truck, and I just want to get rid of the rust, because if you don't get rid of the rust on those trucks, they'll just rot out immediately. They're known for that. But anyway, hey, thanks guys for subscribing. Lots of t-shirts and decals left if you guys are looking for anything. Remember, it's always a good time at Old Time. Check us out at oldtimegarage.ca. We'll see you next time. Tell all your friends, and that's it.